Hi you guys, my name is Kennedy. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know me as Kennedy Milan or Kennedy. And welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video, so I am super excited. For this video, not only will I be telling you how I did this look, what products I used, but I will also be answering some of the questions that you guys asked me on my Instagram. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it and get started. So before I do any kind of makeup, before I put any products on my face, I always moisturize and prime my face with any water-based primer. Then I do my brows first, and that jumps into the first question you guys had asked me. Do you do your brows before or after you apply foundation? Always before. Never do your brows after your foundation because it makes your eyebrows look muddy. That's just my opinion, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. The second thing I do is I will go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer, and I will use that as an eyeshadow base, and I just blend that all over my eyelids. I use a beauty blender to blend it, but I like to do this so that my eyeshadow doesn't smudge or move or crease or anything like that. After you do that for my eyeshadow base, I go in with my LA Girl powder and I just dust that over the concealer on my eyelids just to make sure that, once again, the eyeshadow doesn't crease or anything like that, because I know I sweat and it'll definitely crease right in your crease. So the next question is, do you use liquid or powder foundation? Definitely liquid. I don't think I know anyone who uses powder foundation anymore. I personally like liquid because you can build when you use liquid foundation. When you use powder foundation, that's when things start to look super cakey, and that is never cute. As you can see, I have the tape on my eyes so that way my eyeshadow comes out nice and sharp. Yeah, that works, sharp. And for my first eyeshadow color, for the transition color, I'm going in with that burnt orange color from the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm just blending that all over the top of my lid, up almost to the bottom of my eyebrow. The fourth question is, how did you and Chad meet? For those of you who don't know me, Chad is my fiance, and he just proposed about a month ago. But we met because I was running errands while I was at work one day and I had to stop for gas, and I went inside to pay for my gas, and he was inside and he saw me and I looked at him. I was like, oh, I think I know him. And so I'm like staring at him trying to figure out if I know him or not, and I actually didn't know him, but then I was like, oh shit, he's kind of cute. And I was like, oh shit, I think he sees me staring at him. But he came up to me, and when I was at the window, I was like, I got her gas, don't worry about it. And then he asked me for my number. So that's how we met. The second color I'm going in is the Realgar, also from that Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm putting it right into the crease and blending it up right into that transition color using that same fluffy brush that I used the first time. So yeah, you know, he came up to me, paid for my gas, and I gave him my number, and he had texted me that same day, and she's like, what are you doing? And then that night, we actually FaceTimed all night. I think it might have been for like 4 hours, and then I was just like, okay, yep, I'm going to put a baby in him, I'm gonna marry him. Like, I knew from the first day. So the third color I'm using is the Cypress Umber, also from that Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush, but not quite as big, and put it in that outer V corner and drag it into the crease. And this is just going to create some depth for your eyes, especially if you're a person who has big eyes, kind of like me. The fifth question is, will there be an open bar at the wedding? I hope so. Open bars are super expensive, so if y'all want to pitch in, you're more than welcome, because I'm broke. But I would love for there to be an open bar, because then that means everybody's gonna be lit. That's how you know you're gonna have a good time. Question number 6 is, what are the makeup products that you can't live without? Can't live without mascara for those of you who really know me, you know that I just started wearing lashes, but I am a mascara queen. I love it. Liquid foundation and concealer. Everything I can kind of get away with not using on a day-to-day basis, but I really love liquid foundation, concealer, and mascara. Those are my go-tos. Also, the Nars Taj Mahal blush. Can't live without that blush. I've used that blush for probably since I was in high school, so going on 5 to 6 years now. That's probably the best blush ever made, especially for brown skin women. After you spread all of that out, let's see, what's the next question actually? What foundation do you use? CoverGirl True Match, or I will use the Nars Tint, I believe it's called. I'm not sure. I'll put it in the description. Nars Tint, and I think it's like Montreal is the color. Like I said, I'll put it in the description. But I mixed that Nars with a LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Fawn, and that is what I use for my foundation on a day-to-day basis. So for my lid color, what I'm doing here is going in with a single shade Emerald from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a super, super pretty emerald green color. And I'm using kind of like a flat, just regular eyeshadow brush from MAC. I've had this brush for years, so the number has worn off, but I'll try to look it up and tell you guys which one it is. And I'm just gonna keep going in and adding more because I want it to really pop, but I don't want to add a lot to begin with because you never want to do that, because just in case you get too much, it's way easier to build makeup than to take it off. Let's see what else. Question number 8. Somebody said, what happened to light-skinned men ain't ish? So once again, Chad is light-skinned, so that's probably why they asked this question. But before I get into that question, what I'm doing now is I'm going in with that same Cypress Umber color and just a little bit more, and going in and blending out all of those shades. Make sure it looks nice and pretty, almost kind of like ombre effect. But what happened to light-skinned men ain't ish? So Chad's light-skinned, so I guess that's why you asked. But they aren't. My man is just perfect. He's just that one. Well, I'm sure he's not the only one. I'm sure it's a lot of other men that are great out there that are light-skinned. But to me, Chad is the best one out there. So all the other ones are trash, but my man. So no offense to you if your man is light-skinned, but my man's better. And once again, I'm just gonna use that big fluffy brush that I used for the burnt orange and Realgar, and I'm gonna use that to blend outward. Once again, and now I'm gonna take the tape off because I'm pretty much done with my eyeshadow. I'm probably gonna go back in, blend it a little bit more later on after I've done my foundation, and put a glittery pop in that inner tear duct. But for right now, I'm basically done. And I will also go back after I do my concealer and blend it on the bottom and smoke it out a little bit. Right now I'm just trying to clean up what's left on my face, like any fallout. That's the other thing why I do like Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, because you don't get a lot of fallout from them. I know it's the same with Tarte palettes as well, which I really appreciate, and Urban Decay. Morphe, I do really like them though. They're super pigmented. I don't really have too much of a problem with them, but like I said, I get a little bit more fallout from those. So now I'm going in with my foundation, and like I said before, I use my LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn, and then my Nars, I still don't know. I'm just gonna have to figure it out for you guys. But I know the color is Montreal, and I use a flat angled foundation brush. I pretty much just spread a little bit of that concealer all over my face, and then I go in with a little bit of that Nars on the brush, and then go in and blend it out all over my face. I try to work outwards, or start outwards and then work my way in. just because I need a little bit more full coverage on the bottom half of my cheeks, because that's where I break out the most. So yeah, blending that out. What's the next question? What is the date for the wedding? So as of right now, we're shooting for May 2020. But if we're being honest, it's probably going to be May 2021. You know, when you get engaged, it's so beautiful, and it's so, oh my God, say yes to the dress. Oh my God, I want to start planning the wedding, this, that, and the third. But it's like, when you get into seeing how much it is for the food, how much it is for the venue, how much it is for the staff, the chairs, the runners, the just everything, and not even counting the dress, it gets super expensive. Like, people say, oh, you can do a wedding on a budget, but I'm not that person. If I'm gonna do a wedding, I wanted to curse, but I can't. It's gonna be all out. Like, I'm not cutting any corners when it comes to my wedding, because that's gonna be my only one. So as of right now, we don't have a definite date. I want it to be May of 2020, but it's probably going to be around May of 2021. I want it to be a pretty big wedding. So for all of you asking, am I invited to the wedding? Everybody's invited. Like that girl from my Super Sweet 16, and she was like, everyone's invited to my birthday. That's how I feel about my wedding. Everyone's gonna be invited to my wedding. I don't want a super big wedding, but I do want everyone there that I know, all of my family, all of my friends. So hopefully we have a pretty good turnout, you know, all of that good stuff. Now for concealer, and well, highlight concealer, I go in with my 24-hour Wear by MAC. I'm not sure of the shade. I'll drop the shade for you guys. Don't mind it. My dog chewed it up because I don't know why he likes chewing up all my makeup. I don't know if it tastes good to him or something, but he specifically loves concealer. This is like the 4th concealer he's chewed up. He doesn't touch anything else but concealer. I don't get it. But I just put that under both my eyes and kind of drag it out a little bit in between my brows and my forehead, along the middle of my nose, and a little tiny bit on my chin. And then I go in with my NYX Gotcha Covered concealer, and I'm not sure the shade. I'll have to drop that for you guys too, but in a lighter shade than my MAC 24-hour concealer. And I just pretty much do the same thing. I put that a little bit closer to the tear duct on my eyes. I don't spread it out as much. I put a little bit on my forehead and on my chin. And then I blend that out with a damp beauty blender. Oh, sorry. I go in with my Revolution Pro Fix Illuminating Spray first. That thing is the holy grail of setting sprays, let me tell you. Go in with that, and then I blend it out with a beauty blender. So the next question is, how long does it take you to get ready, and what is your process? Whew, okay, the process of me getting ready, clearly I shower. If my hair is curly, I'll shower, wash my hair, put some conditioner in it, and then, you know, dry off, try to dry my hair a little bit with like an old raggedy t-shirt or something, and then I try to let it air dry as much as possible after that. But while my hair is, you know, air drying or whatever, then I'll get into doing my makeup. So let's see, shower if I have to wash my hair because my hair is curly, probably like 20 minutes. Makeup probably like 30 minutes depending on what kind of makeup I'm doing. Then I'll go in and do my hair, and it doesn't really take me too long to do my hair regardless of if it's curly or straight. So I'll say it probably takes me max of 15 minutes to do my hair. Then I have to find an outfit, and that takes me a while. Okay, like I can't even tell you how long it takes me to find an outfit. So I'd probably say about an hour to an hour and a half for how long it takes me to get ready. Next, I'm gonna go in with my LA Girl powder again and use that to set my under eye concealer, set my forehead, my nose, and up on my chin. But yeah, when I'm trying to find an outfit, I will literally try on like 7 different outfits look in the mirror, still don't look right, and then everything, all my clothes just end up on the floor. And then I basically just end up wearing the first outfit I put on, probably. Like, that's typically how it goes for me. I don't know why I'm so, I annoy myself with it. So next, I go in with my Tarte Contour 3 palette. It is down to basically nothing. And I go in with the only bronze shade I have left in there. And I apply that to the bottom of my cheeks just to give my skin a little bit more of a bronzed look, because sometimes if I put too much of the concealer on, it can come out a little too light. You know, my foundation come out a little too light, and that just helps to make it nice brown, bronzy even, make me look nice and sun-kissed. The next question is, what are your favorite sneakers? Ooh. Whew, that question makes me want to cry. Is my neighbor, like, cutting his grass in January? Who does that? Who cuts their grass in January? Before I get to that question, now I'm going in with my Sephora powder foundation, actually, and I just use that as contour. I take a angled fluffy brush and I apply that in circular motions on my forehead, on the sides of my forehead, on my cheekbones, like where, you know, I kind of carve my face, and then on my jawline to kind of define it a little bit more. And then I also squish the brush up and try and do down the sides of my nose with that as well, and that kind of is my nose contour. I try not to contour my nose too much, because it just, for me, nose contour can just look a little dirty sometimes, so I try not to do too much of it. But favorite sneakers that I own personally, my bread ones and my shadow gray ones. Favorite sneakers that I own personally. My favorite sneakers of all time, the Pigeon Dunks, the Cherrywood Air Max, and the shadow gray ones. I wish I could have the Pigeon Dunks, but I'm not trying to get shot for them, and I also don't have $10,000 to spend on them. The Cherrywood Air Max, I'm pretty sure they probably don't even have them in my size anywhere. The only place I've seen them is on eBay and Flight Club, and the only sizes I've seen them in on both sites is a size 11 or a size 8 in men's, so that's super dead. And then on top of that, they're $3,000 now, and I clearly don't have that to spend on a pair of sneakers. So thank God I at least have the shadow gray ones. I've wanted those damn near my entire life, so when I bought them, literally I was just like, I'm never getting rid of these, I'm never selling them, nobody better ask to wear them, because it's not gonna happen. So now I'm just wiping away that excess powder, and you can see how, you know, before when I had the powder on, it was really, really bright. Now you can see that it's kind of a little bit more mild, and everything is set. I like to bake my face for not too long, but, you know, just a little bit, because I feel like if you go too long, it just makes your face look white and you get a whole lot of flashback, and nobody wants that, especially if you go into the club and you try and take pictures. You try and be cute. Can't be cute with all that flashback, girl. It's not gonna happen. So now I'm going in with the holy grail of blushes, Nars Taj Mahal. Y'all, I cannot tell you enough how much I love this blush. This blush could probably call me and tell me that it robbed a bank, and I'll just be like, okay, what we doing now, sis? Like, I love that blush this much to where I'm always have its back. I'm always use it for the rest of my life. When I thought it was discontinued, I damn near was in my bed crying for a whole day. But this blush, it's a beautiful orange, slightly shimmery color. When I say it looks beautiful on women of color, like, oh my god, don't get me wrong, it looks really, really nice on fair skinned women, but how peach blushes are for fair skinned women, this Taj Mahal blush is for brown skinned women, okay? Like, look, and then I just apply that to my cheeks, a little bit on my chin, and I just kind of tap it on my nose, and then I go back in with that Revolution Pro Fix illuminating spray, and And now that I've sprayed it, I'm going to go in with my Becca highlighter. I'm going to drop which shade that is, but it's a very pretty bronze shade. I'm going to go in with a super, super thin highlight brush. And I'm just going to apply that right on the top of my cheeks. And I try to dust it pretty lightly because since my face is wet, you don't want that highlight to streak. But you kind of want it to really glow. That's why I like to put a highlight on when my face is wet. I know a lot of people don't, but I personally do. I feel like it makes your highlight pop even more. It's just kind of like when you want to wet your brush when you're putting on a shimmer or glitter eyeshadow, you know. Apply it to the top of my cheeks, the tip of my nose, and I dust it a little bit in between my brows, on my forehead, and on right above the top of my lip. So I'm pretty much done, I believe, with my face. And then I'm just gonna go in with this really pretty greenish shimmer color from the Subculture palette. I'm not sure if you can see. I'll drop the shade name for you guys. Yeah, and I'm gonna put that in my inner tear duct with a really, really kind of small little eyeshadow brush. You'll see it. The next question is, what are your favorite brands? Like makeup brands or clothing brands? Makeup brands, I love Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think that Norvina palette might be the best palette they've ever made. I love Tarte. I really like their foundation. It just, you know, shit, Sephora foundations, you know, any brand that sold in Sephora, their foundation is a little expensive. But I really like Tarte's foundations. I love Fenty Beauty. Everyone does, but I love Rihanna because in my mind, that's my sister. In my mind. Anastasia Beverly Hills, Tarte, Fenty. What other brands do I like? I really like Morphe. I actually do. I think I really like their brushes, and I think their eyeshadow palettes are really, really pretty. But that's about it. I don't really tend to stray too far from any of those brands. And I like e.l.f. as my drugstore product. I really, really like e.l.f. Now I'm going to go back in with that Cypress Umber and just smoke that out under my eye so it doesn't look like I just have all this color on the top and then nothing on the bottom, you know. Then I'm going to go in with just any regular black eyeliner pencil and just line my eyes with that on the bottom. I don't tend to wear a lot of top liner because it makes your eyes smaller. And who got time for that? The last question is, what are your least favorite brands and why? I am not a big fan of Huda Beauty. I don't see a lot of diversity from her, to be honest, and I don't like the texture at all of any of her glitter shadows. I think the texture feels like almost kind of like dirt, if we're being frank. I feel like she's one of those people, when she came out with the Pro filter, I think she just came out with it just to appease people of color. But she still didn't even do that good of a job because it still wasn't a wide range. But this is the finished product, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you again, and make sure you subscribe, follow me on all platforms, and I will see you guys later. Bye.